Let me ask you something strange. If I told you that a daily cup of coffee, not the fancy one, just the regular gas station kind, could make you a millionaire, would you believe me? Probably not, because that sounds like one of those things people say to make you feel guilty about enjoying something small. Stop buying lattes, start buying stocks. You've heard it 100 times. And honestly, it's annoying. But here's the thing. The idea itself isn't wrong. The way people explain it is just terrible. Because this isn't really a story about coffee. It's not about cutting back, sacrificing, or living like a monk, so that someday, decades from now, you can finally enjoy your money. This is a story about something far more interesting. It's about a mathematical force so powerful that Einstein allegedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. It's about why the timing of when you start investing matters more than how much you invest. And it's about why most people completely miss the window, not because they're bad with money, but because of the way the human brain is wired. So if you've ever looked at your bank account and thought, I don't have enough to invest, this video is specifically for you. Let's start at the beginning. Picture two people, same age, same income, same city. We'll call them Marcus and Priya. Marcus is 22. He just started his first real job. He's not making a lot, maybe $2,800 a month after tax. He's got rent, groceries, a car payment, and a social life he actually enjoys. Every month, money comes in and money goes out, and at the end of it, there's not much left. Marcus tells himself, when I'm earning more, I'll start investing. Right now, it just doesn't make sense. Priya is in the exact same position, same paycheck, same bills, but she does something small. Every single day, she sets aside $10. Not $10,000, not even $100, just $10. She puts it into a basic index fund and doesn't touch it. That's it. That's the whole difference between them. Now here's the question. 20, 30 years from now, how different do you think their financial lives look? Most people guess the gap is noticeable, maybe significant, but the real answer is almost unbelievable. And to understand why, we need to talk about something most people completely misunderstand.
Here's how most people think about saving and investing. They think it works like a jar. You put money in, the jar gets fuller. More money in, more money out. It's linear. It makes perfect sense. But real investing doesn't work like a jar. It works like a snowball rolling down a hill. When a snowball starts rolling, it's tiny. The first few seconds, barely anything happens. But the snowball is picking up snow with every rotation. And here's the key. As it gets bigger, it picks up even more snow per rotation. The bigger it gets, the faster it grows. Not because anything changed about the hill, but because size itself creates momentum. This is compounding. And it's why $10 a day is not just $10 a day. Let's get into the actual numbers, because this is where it gets genuinely surprising. $10 a day is $300 a month, $3,650 a year. Over 30 years, if you just stashed that cash under your mattress, you'd have $109,500. Decent, but nothing life-changing. Now put that same $300 a month into an index fund, something that historically returns around 8 to 10% annually. And something completely different happens. After 10 years, you have roughly $55,000. Still not wild. After 20 years, around $180,000. After 30 years, over $440,000. After 40 years, you're approaching $1 million. From $10 a day, you didn't change your strategy. You didn't pick winning stocks. You didn't get lucky. You just kept rolling the snowball and let time do the work. But here's the part that really messes with people's heads. The majority of that wealth, we're talking about 80 to 85% of it, doesn't come from the money you actually invested. It comes from the returns on your returns. The snowball collecting snow from snow it already collected. That last decade of a 40-year investment journey, it generates more wealth than the first 25 years combined. This is why Marcus's "I'll start when I earn more" thinking is so dangerous. Every year he waits doesn't just cost him 1 year of contributions. It costs him the compounding on those contributions. It's not addition he's missing out on. It's multiplication. So if this math is so powerful, why doesn't everyone do it? This is where it gets psychologically interesting. Our brains were not designed for long-term abstract rewards. They were designed for immediate, tangible results. For most of human history, that was a survival advantage. If you found food, you ate it now. You didn't invest it for future you. Psychologists call this hyperbolic discounting. It means that the further away a reward is in time, the less real it feels to us. $1 today feels more valuable than $5 in 5 years, even though mathematically the $5 is better. This is why start investing now for your retirement in 40 years is such an ineffective message. 40 years from now might as well be a different lifetime. The human brain has genuine difficulty treating that future version of you as the same person who is alive right now. There's actually research showing that when people look at age-progressed photos of themselves, pictures of what they'll look like at 65 or 70, they invest significantly more money afterward because suddenly the future person feels real. The $10 a day strategy is psychologically clever for exactly this reason. It doesn't ask you to think about retirement. It doesn't ask you to sacrifice your lifestyle. It asks you to make one tiny decision today. And that tiny decision is small enough that it barely registers as a loss. Behavioral economists call this the pain of paying. Every time we spend money, there's a small psychological discomfort. We feel it more with large amounts, but $10? That barely registers. It's below the threshold of financial pain for most people. And here's another layer to this. Studies consistently show that people drastically overestimate how much they'll miss small amounts of money and drastically underestimate how much they'll regret not investing earlier. The discomfort you imagine is almost always worse than the actual discomfort, which leads to the most important reframe of this entire video. You're not sacrificing $10. You're paying your future self.
Now, let's make this real. The first thing most people do when they hear advice like this is think about whether they can afford it. And that's exactly the wrong starting point. The right question isn't, can I afford to invest $10 a day? The right question is, what does my daily spending actually look like? And where does $10 naturally fit? For most people in their 20s and 30s, $10 disappears without a second thought. A delivery fee here, an impulse snack there, a subscription you forgot about. The money is already leaving, it's just leaving without a plan. What the $10 a day approach does is give that money a destination before it disappears into the daily noise. Here's a practical way to think about it. Set up an automatic transfer, $300 a month or $150 every 2 weeks into an investment account the day after you get paid. Before you pay for anything else, before you check your balance and decide you'll do it later. Automate it, and then forget it exists. This is sometimes called paying yourself first, and it works not because of discipline or willpower, which are unreliable, but because it removes the decision entirely. You never even see the money. It never competes with anything else. It just goes. Then pick a simple, low-cost index fund, a total market fund or an S&P 500 index fund. You don't need to research individual companies. You don't need to watch the market every day. You're buying a tiny piece of hundreds of the world's biggest businesses all at once and letting that collection grow over time. And then, this is critical, you do not panic when the market goes down, because it will go down. Multiple times, sometimes dramatically, and every single time it does, your brain will tell you this is different. This is the crash that doesn't recover. You should pull out now. Ignore that voice. Historical data across every major market downturn in the last century shows the same pattern. The market recovered every single time. The people who lost money permanently are the people who sold during the dip and waited for it to feel safe again, which is usually right near the next peak. Consistency beats timing, always. Let's go back to Marcus and Priya. Marcus is now 52. He started investing at 35 when he finally felt like he was earning enough. He's been disciplined and consistent. He's built something real. Priya started at 22. She invested the same amount per month as Marcus for the same number of active years, but because she started 13 years earlier, her money had 13 extra years to compound. By retirement, Priya has nearly 3 times more wealth than Marcus, not because she was smarter, not because she earned more, just because she started with $10 a day when she was young and didn't wait for perfect conditions. Here's the thought I want to leave you with. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. You might be watching this at 19, or 34, or 41.
And wherever you are, the math still works. The snowball still rolls. The only thing that changes is the size of the hill ahead of you. $10 a day won't feel like anything today. It won't feel like anything next month. It might not feel like anything for years. That's not a bug in the system. That's exactly how compounding is supposed to feel at the beginning. The growth is invisible until it suddenly isn't. And the people who understand that, who can act without immediate feedback, who can invest in something they can't see or touch or feel yet, those are the people who wake up at 55 with options that most people never get. Not because they were lucky, not because they earned more, because they started with a decision so small it barely felt like a decision at all.